Hey folks, welcome back. So once again, we're looking at an expansion for Traveller 2300 AD. This is Ships of the Frontier, which is a lovely book packed full of ships of all different shapes and sizes for 2300 AD campaigns. Like with mainline Traveller, I really enjoy having books of ships to pull from and just throw interesting challenges at my players or cool ships for them to fly or encounter. And this certainly does that for 2300 AD. You'll note that because of the nature of 2300 AD, there's a lot of different types of craft in here, whereas in mainline Traveller, you have this huge array of starships and a lot less in the small craft end of things. Here, it's more the opposite. Starships are big and very expensive and typically commercially or governmentally owned, and the small craft are needed to get people and things from gravity wells into orbit and into starships, and there's therefore a lot of different methods of doing that. So what we get in here really fits the setting, but just be aware of that in case you're expecting it to be similar to High Guard or Traders and Gunboats or the other supplements for mainline Traveller. So on the back, it mentions the 33 colony worlds and countless outposts of human space scattered across the 100 light-year diameter volume of space. Starships can hop along from star to star 7.7 light-years at a time. So in order to connect all those worlds with the core, you need starships. Interface craft are required to connect those with the worlds below, and other ships are needed to find raw materials and to find new worlds, and still others are required to protect all those other ships and the worlds they serve. So as a result, the book has many drones, fighters, freighters, landers, and warships from across human space, along with a selection of ships used by the three spacefaring alien races at the edge of human space: the pteranodon-like Sung, the odd little biotech masters, the pentapods, and the hulking, vaguely insectoid Kafirs. So we've got 81 ships, drones, and stations in this volume, and they add new opportunities for trade, diplomacy, exploration, and combat. So nice little sales pitch, but really, if you're playing a space game, you don't need a big sales pitch to get a book of ships. Pretty much what everybody wants anyways. So with that, we'll dive right in. So we've got some details on Ships of the Frontier on the first page, then we get into a few pages of drones, then we get into spacecraft, from civilian spacecraft and small craft all the way up to large ships and space stations. Then we got a section on alien spacecraft for the last 30 or so pages, and then a few vehicles at the end as well. So it's about 200 pages or so overall. Not a lot of filler, honestly. I mean, we have this brief little intro section here about what interface craft are, and then we're jumping right into the good stuff. So we've got our drones. Each section also comes with a nice little compact explanation of the ship type in case you're not familiar, which is great. So drones are unmanned sensor and combat platforms used by almost all nations. Kafirs use them, but they don't seem to make use of other types beyond combat drones, and the Sung and pentapods don't use them in any recognizable form. So they're mainly a humanoid thing and a Kafir thing, at least for combat. And we have a lot of different drones available here. We've got the bus drone from the French that holds 2 sub-warheads in addition to the main one. We have the Japanese RF-22 drone fighters. They're fast and heavily armed with the Raiden weapon system, a rapid-fire particle beam that trades off damage but retains the electromagnetic cascade. So it bypasses armor with armor piercing and has electromagnetic effects that can cause additional damage to internal systems. The DA-2290 of the French, it focuses on warheads and has 2 submunitions. Those go for high damage, blast radius, and radiation, whereas the Raiden is going for rapid fire and armor piercing. We've got the German armed sensor buoy. It's an armed sensor drone, which is quite unusual in itself. And we can see it here, the main's 21. It's got a laser array, indefinite endurance, 1D of damage, and accurate. And then we've got the Manchurian Kilo 12, which is another armed sensor buoy, and this one has a warhead with 3D damage, blastics, and radiation traits. I've got the Manchurian Hunter drone, a small fast drone with minimal sensors employed in groups of 6, commonly called swarms. Basically, the loss of drones will reduce the bonus you get to sensor reading for having 6 of them. French LM9 sensor buoy, an unarmed sensor platform. And we've got the stats for both of those up here. The Hunter with an endurance of only 10 hours, but attack speed of 5. And the LM9 with an indefinite endurance, attack speed of 0. Higelac survey drone from Canada, attack level of 12, indefinite endurance, attack speed of 1. These guys are survey drones and are designed to extend the capabilities of an exploratory starship. And then we get right into spacecraft, right from there. Just a few drones. We start with civilian spacecraft. These are of the smaller type. So we've got our drop pod here to start with. Tech level 11, 160-ton synthetic ballistic drop pod. It's got a disposable heat shield and parachute system, OMS rocket reaction drive, battery power plant, OMS rocket with 1 burn, controlled by autopilot. Don't even need any piloting skills for this. Used together with the co-merchant carrier, can carry 142 tons of cargo to a colony world dropped from low orbit. We got the Trilon Industries AS400 Ultra Heavy Drop Barge, which is similar. You can see it's got a parachute system with multiple parachutes, and it's again designed to drop cargo down to a surface. It's got a 400-ton ballistic hull, so it's much bigger. It is disposable as well with OMS rockets with 2 burns. It's got some radiators and some maneuvering and an autopilot as well. Basic ship systems, no life support. It's just designed for cargo as well. And we got the landers and launch vehicles. Here we have an actual need for human habitation. So we've got the Endeavour cargo shuttle from the UK. So it's a tech level 11, 200-ton synthetic lifting body. It needs 2 pilots and 2 cargo handlers, and it's designed purely to carry cargo up into orbit and back down again. It's a heavy lift vehicle, which can bring a large amount of material into low orbit. It's common sight on worlds that can support the necessary infrastructure, including a 4-kilometer runway. And you can also make it a passenger shuttle by adding 300 acceleration couches, 4 freshers, and 2 safety lockers. So that costs you 9.8 million credits, but you can make a lot of money from passenger traffic that way. It also has a heavy lift configuration with an additional fuel tank and boosters. We got the Trilon Archon heavy lift vehicle. It's a 100-ton synthetic lifting body, air-breathing rocket, reaction drive, 7 burns. And again, this is designed to bring things up into low orbit with a decent payload, designed to operate from a size 10 world. So on larger worlds, we won't be able to make it to low orbit. So bear that in mind. We've got the JM40 ballistic lander, which is pretty old school looking. I like this guy. So these are well suited for use on frontier worlds without a lot of infrastructure, but they're not very atmospherically maneuverable. So that's the downside. And so VTOL capable space planes are more popular, but they're also expensive. It's got a 40-ton composite ballistic frame. It's got a flight deck. So there are 2 pilots and 6 passengers on board, 2 pintle mounts for weapons, and 6 acceleration couches. So it's a minimal lander that'll work in a pinch, but nothing fancy. Got the Starlight luxury space plane. Look at that. Very nice and spacious. It's found on luxury liners and in the hands of wealthy spacefarers. Very capable, hypersonic, and fully VTOL. Some have laser-based anti-missile systems and countermeasures to protect them from attack in the atmosphere. It's got a 50-ton synthetic airframe, so it's a bit small. Advanced heat shield and VTOL properties. It's got air-breathing thrusters, MHD turbine power, pair of computers, basic military and basic survey sensors, anti-missile lasers, a galley for 2, a luxury suite, and 3 small staterooms. Life support for 7 days. Needs 2 pilots. And you got your Bison cargo lander. It's kind of weird. Looks like it's upside down. So this was made by Canada in 2261, and it's a 60-ton composite lifting body with heat shield, short takeoff and landing, STOL, hydrodynamics, so it can land in the water, and a frontier operation. So it's really designed for working on the frontier, which is great. 7 burns for the rocket, which is decent. Flight deck for 2 pilots, 4 acceleration couches as well, and then a decent amount of cargo space here. So really handy to have something for the frontier that's got the hydrodynamic trait. Hugely expands your landing options when you're looking around for some place to drop down. Then we got our small craft, a worker bee, a small multi-purpose craft designed for working around station ships and habitats. So it's got manipulator arms, tech level 10. It's very slow. These are statted up like vehicles, as you can see. So they're really, truly tiny. But then we get into the Langust asteroid miner, a Seeker, which is from Russia. Started warp, which is barely suitable for a drone. So it's very slow, 0.6 light years per day. But it's 220-ton aligned crystal steel space frame, tech level 10, with a radiation shield and the tough traits, with 2 armor, nuclear OMS thrusters, and a fission reactor, a laser drill, surface mounted, so that's for mining the asteroids, and it's got some cargo arms and manipulators, and life support for 28 days, with comfort -1, made to do a job and will do it, but quite slowly, unfortunately. And you can see it's very workmanlike in its construction, which I like. We got merchant vessels and liners. These are for selling things and bringing people around. We've got the BC-4. This is a modular freighter that can accept 4 of the standard 2210 pattern 50-ton modules originally designed for the French metal cargo hauler. So it's very workmanlike, not particularly sophisticated, but it does need quite a bit of crew and a comfort rating of -1. Built by British Exospace. It's a tech level 10, 350-ton aligned crystal steel dispersed structure, and you can see that here. 0.68 light years per day, so pretty slow. And MHD turbine for its power. It's got 1 hard point with no weapon in it, and a worker bee in the berth to do cargo movement, repairs, and stuff if need be. And small staterooms times 12, so cramped craft, but it'll do the job of getting cargo around for trade. We got our Commercant drop cargo carrier made by France. Tech level 10, 200-ton synthetic space frame. So we saw this before. They used the Terrafuse DRV4 drop pod to get more cargo out of orbit and onto the ground. It's got a pretty decent Stutter warp 2.35 light years per day, attack speed 2. MHD turbine, orbital thruster with 6 burns, not too bad. It's got a hard point with nothing in it, but you could put something in it. 27 small staterooms and life support for 28 days. So yeah, pretty decent for moving stuff around between systems. Only up to 6 passengers. So the comfort rating though is decent at +1. So it's actually relatively spacious. And given that you're running fairly short transits between systems, reasonably comfortable while I do so. Got the Tianjin Heavy Freighter from Manchuria. Nice big chunky looking thing. It's got a spin habitat. Then we've got heavy landers attached to the sides here. The engineering section in the back. 1,500 ton synthetic dispersed structure, tech level 11. Nuclear OMS thruster. Decent stutter warp 1.95 light years per day. Attack speed of 2. Fission reactor power. Nuclear thrusters. 2 hard points with military sensors DSS and GADS. So it can sense gravitational anomalies. That's handy. It's got some useful systems for use under spin. 6 HL-150 landers in berth and 5 repair remotes. 15 standard airlocks. 30 small staterooms under spin. 16 small staterooms in 0G. It's got a spin capsule double spin habitat towards the front, as we saw. And it's got 28 days of life support. Comfort rating of 0. It's pretty big, 1,500 tons. And still moves pretty decently. Substantial set of deck plans here. And we can see that on decks 4 to 6, that's where we have the landers tacked onto the side there. And this immediately afterwards is the heavy lander, which is very handy. This is again made by Manchuria. It's a 150-ton synthetic lifting body, hence the HL-150 title. It's got a heat shield, an advanced hull, armor of 2, air-breathing thrusters with an MHD turbine, thruster with 7 burns, 20 conventional radiators, safety lockers, a couple airlocks, 4 acceleration couches, and 2 pilots. So you can have up to 4 passengers along with the 2 pilots, but it's mainly designed to bring cargo down from the Tianjin through these 6 different landers. So with 6 landers, you can get quite a lot of mass down each time you send them out. Cargo is 112 tons out of the 150, so it's mostly empty space to put your stuff in. Then you've got your Hudson's Bay freighter. This is made by Canada. It's a 500-ton aligned crystal steel space frame with OMS thrusters, 1.18 light years per day, so a bit slow, attack speed of 1. MHD turbines, OMS thrusters with 6 burns, a hard point with nothing in it, but decent sensors including GAD. Got exercise equipment, a couple of cargo arms, 5 standard airlocks, 30 small staterooms. Has no spin capacity. Comfort rating is -1. I assume not having any gravity probably makes things a little bit more challenging, but it's a simple and effective design, which has made it quite popular apparently. The cost is reasonable, 37.61 million credits. Not too bad for 500 tons of freight capacity, I would say. And here we have the deck plan, pretty straightforward design. You can see we've got big cargo sections here. We've got the bridge and then lots of staterooms down here. The Electra 917 is a small liner with lifting body airframe, capable of unpowered landing on most worlds of the French arm. And once it's in space, it can deploy a pylon that allows it to connect to another Electra, and then they can spin around their center of mass to simulate gravity. When they're attached this way, they can only use stutter warp, and so the speed on the link ships is only 1.32 light years per day. And we have the metal container ship, also by France. The archetypal container ship has been in service for 80 years. So it's got a capacity of 72 of the 2210 pattern containers, and it can haul an immense amount of cargo, still one of the larger cargo vessels in operation on any arm. Overpowered OMS thruster, allowing it to make appropriate orbital maneuvers with a full load. Unloaded, it's capable of greater acceleration than the space frame can handle, so you have to throttle the system down to prevent damage. So you don't want to push it too hard if it's unloaded. So here we have the TL-11 Electra 917, 300-ton synthetic lifting body with the 1.87 light years per day, MHD turbine. Remember that the speed of the starter warp will drop to 1.32 if it's linked to another Electra 917 to simulate gravity. At 3 RPM provides gravity 0.3 G. And it has life support as usual for 28 days. Comfort rating is +1, so pretty decent. And you can see that the staterooms look pretty reasonable. 25 staterooms and 22 small staterooms, so not bad for a liner, pretty reasonable capacity. Then we've got our metal container ship. You can see it's got this monstrosity here at the front, dragging everything, and all the containers attach in this sort of hexagonal configuration attached to the cargo tree back here. When it's fully loaded, it only travels 0.77 light years per day. When it's unloaded, 1.41 light years per day. And it's got OMS thrusters with 4 burns loaded and 10 burns unloaded. It's got a couple of hard points which could be used, 2 worker bees, and 33 small staterooms. 56 days of supplies because it's a slow-ass thing. And here we see the remainder of the deck plans with the starter warp drive, power plant, and so on. Then we got the Desarge 8680 liner from France. So it's luxury space travel. Comfort rating +3 and +4 for luxury travelers. Pretty nice, actually. They carry 2 interface craft and internal hangars. They rely on interface craft on the local worlds they travel to handle their passengers and cargo, though, because they've only got these 2 craft. So they have 2 telescopes for the use of the passengers, and they're occasionally chartered by universities and foundations. They've got 4 luxury suites in high demand with extensive waiting lists. Very cool. So it's a 5,000-ton TL-11 space frame, synthetic, with radiation shield and advanced orbital nuclear thrusters, 1.6 light years per day, attack speed of 2, fusion reactor, nuclear OMS thrusters, Neuralink bridge, got DSS GADs and 2 telescopes, 4 hardpoints, a bunch of cool stuff, including a casino, entertainment venue, full gallery, luxury dining for 50, and a theater for 24, repair remotes times 10, SLV-55 scout landers times 2, sauvetage lifeboats times 65, with 410 staterooms, luxury suites times 4, and small staterooms times 50. Wow, pretty cool. 56 days of supplies for 470 people. Wow, that's a massive liner, isn't it? And the deck plans continue. You can see all the staterooms here. Now, scout vessels. These are vessels designed to explore. So we've got the Bade from Germany. Previously, the most celebrated long-range exploratory craft in human space until the Bayern, which again is the focus of the large box module, managed to travel 750 light years for a round trip, which is pretty amazing. The furthest any human vessel had traveled up until that point. Sadly, one pinnace, the Argo, was lost when an electromagnetic event on the neutron star's surface badly damaged the vessel. Ouch. You can see there's a lot of crew required. Comfort rating is -1, so you're spending a very long time potentially on this ship. Pretty uncomfortable. 88 hull points though, so it's pretty solid. And it's 800 tons synthetic space frame. We can see it here. It got its radiator vanes sticking out and fuel pods here. It's got a spin capsule, a couple of spin capsules, and the cockpit up front. Advanced TL-11 radiation shield space frame, armor of 3, nuclear thrusters, stutter warp 2.18 light years per day. Not bad. Fuel purification facilities, 2 weapon hardpoints, 4 drone controllers, a lot of systems on board, including refreshers, workshops, general labs, etc. We've got scout drones, repair remotes, survey satellites, planetary probes, and a planetary probe with a return capacity. We've got DC-30 landers times 2, R-40 pinnaces times 2, 800 days of supplies for 65 people. So definitely an exploratory monster. Then we've got the Nafasi survey craft, 550-ton aligned crystal steel space frame with radiation shield. A couple of spin capsules here, which generate 0.27 G, so not a great amount, but it's enough to keep you from losing all your muscle mass, I suppose. Got a radiation shield, OMS thrusters, advanced, 1.77 light years per day, attack speed 2, stutter warp. OMS thruster with 4 burns, a couple of computers. It's got DSS and GADs, a standard survey sensor suite, and a telescope, 2 hardpoints, and 2 drone controllers with 8 survey satellites, 4 planetary probes, a planetary probe with return, and like the other ship, it's got 2 DC-30 ballistic landers in the berth. 60 days of supplies for 48 people, so not designed for super long expeditions. And we see the deck plans here. Like a lot of the ships, 2300, it's pretty workmanlike. Everything is very boxy and practical in its design, and the staterooms are small. In fact, what's the comfort rating on this bad boy? +0, okay, could be worse. Now we've got the Combuseres from France. It's a rare example of an interface craft with spin gravity. The 2 habitats can retract into the hull for interface travel and dirt side operations. It's a multi-purpose craft that can do everything from orbital surveys to in-depth ground exploration. Very cool. But it is at best in the atmosphere a clumsy flyer. And we've got the Far Horizon from Manchuria, the standard scout vessel for Manchuria for the past 40 years. The small vessel without artificial gravity, facilities and labs are limited but effective, and has a single ballistic lander stuck on the front here, but is not equipped for extensive planet-side exploration. Most survey missions involve placing survey and communication satellites for follow-on missions. So it really is truly a scout. It goes out and looks for stuff and then comes back after putting some infrastructure in place for follow-on specialized missions. Then we've got the Combuseres in detail here. So it's a 250-ton synthetic lifting body, advanced heat shield, radiation shield, frontier operations, and VTOL traits, 1.84 light years per day, attack speed 2 for stutter warp, MHD turbine power, a couple of computers, DSS and GADs, standard survey and telescope, 2 hardpoints, and it's got 10 survey satellites, 4 planetary probes, Explorer Extract ATV, and 2 personal ATVs in the berth, and it's got extendable spin capsules. That's handy. 60 days of supplies for 29 people. We can see the deck plans here. 5.77 tons of cargo out of 250, not too much. Most of that space is taken up by survey and science equipment, because that's the mission. Then we've got the Far Horizon. Doesn't have any spin gravity available, but it does have the DC-30 ballistic lander attached to the front. It's got 30 small staterooms, which we can see scattered around in this interesting formation here. It's 250-ton synthetic space frame, radiation shielded. OMS thrusters, 1.19 light years per day, attack speed of 1, so not great. MHD turbine for power. Basic nav array, standard survey, DSS GADs, and telescopes for sensors. 2 computers, typical useful systems, but just simple freshers, so you're not going to feel particularly clean when you come out of there. 12 survey satellites, 12 comm satellites, and 6 navigation satellites. So those are its main mission. Plunk those down in a new unexplored system, take some surveys, see what's out there, and then have those comms and arrays set up for specialized missions to come and exploit what they can out of that new system. Now we've got couriers. These are the guys that bring stuff around for interstellar trade and diplomacy. We've got the Phi D from Azania. So it's a large courier vessel suitable for commercial transport of high-value goods. No spin habitat. Accommodation is cramped. It's streamlined, so it has thrusters for atmospheric landings and orbital operations. And there's some cargo space set aside for rapid delivery of high-value items and materials. So here we have the Phi D TL-11 250-ton composite lifting body with heat shield and short takeoff and landing, which is handy. Air-breathing thrusters, 2.63 light years per day, attack speed of 3. Not bad at all. Thruster with 7 burns, so it has some capacity for maneuver in atmosphere. Small encrypted comms, 2 computers, basic nav array sensors, nothing fancy. 1 hardpoint if needed, 25 small staterooms, but again, nothing spinning for you to have gravity. Life support for 30 days. We've got the Far Runner fast courier from Manchuria, built in 2292. Got an augmented scramjet, it says on there. Here we can see the deck plans for the Phi D. The Far Runner is used by the Manchurians. It's got a 150-ton composite lifting body with advanced heat shield and VTOL characteristics and 4 armor as well. Air-breathing thruster, 3.06 light year per day, 3 attack speed, stutter warp, which is really nice. MHD turbine for power. It's got 2 hardened computers, a Neuralink bridge, military sensors, a hard point, 21 small staterooms, and it's got supplies for 30 days for 21 people. Comfort rating, though, is -1, so not great for comfort. But again, it's not designed for a super long mission, so not too bad. Again, I love this kind of workman-like design, but you can see the scramjets there to give it hypersonic flight and atmosphere. It's very cool. We've got the Merkur Courier from Germany. It's an 80-ton synthetic lifting body with heat shield, short takeoff and landing, frontier operations, traits, air-breathing thruster, 2.82 light years per day, attack speed 3, stutter warp, MHD turbine for power, small bridge with Neuralink, 2 computers, not hardened, 12 small staterooms, and supplies for 28 days for 12 people. And here we can see the ship itself and the deck plans. Pretty cool looking, I gotta say. I do like this kind of chunky style of ships in Traveller. It reminds me a bit of The Expanse. More hard sci-fi feel. Nothing is super sleek. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Star Trek, as you all know. And I dearly hope that our 23rd and 24th centuries will be like that. But I think on the way to getting there, we'll be building a lot of ships like this. You know, it's all about what works. Space is incredibly hostile to human life. So you gotta do what you gotta do to get there and back in one piece. We got the Pronghorn Fast Courier, built by the US in 2258. It's a 200-ton synthetic space frame with radiation shield and advanced traits. OMS thruster, 4.82 light years per day, attack speed of 5. Wow, very fast. MHD turbine for power. It's got fuel tanks for its subcraft and 4 burns on the thruster. It's got a small bridge with Neuralink, 2 computers, not hardened, basic nav array and DSS, 1 hardpoint, Term Falca space plane in the berth, and an L-50 drop pod as well. 14 small staterooms. And again, we don't see any spin gravity happening here. A little bit less cool looking, but definitely gets the job done. It looks like it's aligned in such a way that you will get gravity from the thrust of the craft with the decks going along that way. So that at least is clever. Then we got our military vessel. So wider range of craft in this category, because the military will have to do a number of different things to maintain their battle capacity and their air and space control. So we got landers. So these provide surface to orbit transit for military forces. They're susceptible to attack though by anti-aircraft defenses and aerospace fighters. So most of these combat landers have weapons of their own to defend themselves. And here we have the LSIT landing craft interface transport, built by Australia. Got some details here about that one. And we can see what it looks like here. It's a 40-ton composite lifting body. It's designed with heat shield, VTOL, and frontier operations. Armor of 5 with a thruster that's air-breathing and works in low orbit, MHD turbine. It's got Arrow 12 anti-vehicle missiles in retractable mounts, Arrow 27 heavy anti-aircraft missiles in retractable mounts, 200-kilogram bombs in fixed mounts, and decoy dispensers in fixed mounts as well. So yeah, a lot of protection and offensive possibilities if somebody tries to take them down whilst flying up into orbit. So that's pretty cool. It's got 11 acceleration couches, so fairly limited capacity, almost 3 tons of cargo space for your troops and all their kit to go up into orbit. Then we've got the EDA-60 medium combat lander from France. This is a 60-ton composite lifting body. A little bit funny looking. Got little arrow fins just jutting out the side there. It's got heat shield, advanced, vertical takeoff and landing, and frontier operations traits, 6 armor, air-breathing thruster with MHD turbine for power, HDR radiators. It's got 2 computers, Arrow 12 anti-vehicle missiles, 25mm rotary autocannon, anti-missile laser in a fixed mount, and decoy dispensers. So again, heavily armed to protect itself. Likewise, we have the EDA-150 heavy combat lander. This is again from France. You can see it's got a lot more capacity for troops and a lot more cargo space with 29.33 tons for cargo, and it's got 45 acceleration couches. It's a 150-ton composite lifting body, TL-12, with heat shield, advanced, vertical takeoff and landing, and frontier operations traits, 4 armor, air-breathing, advanced thrusters, MHD turbines for power. It's got a flight deck with a neural link, 2 hardened computers, advanced military sensors, anti-missile lasers, 65mm mass drivers, heavy plasma guns, and Arrow 12 anti-vehicle missiles. So yeah, this guy can fight back and can carry 45 troops. Not bad. Now we've got the Beachhead Drop Fortress from Manchuria. Not a drop pod, a drop fortress. So it's a uniquely Manchurian design, an armed and armored base built into a 400-ton drop capsule. Pretty awesome. 400-ton composite ballistic frame with heat shield, vertical takeoff and landing, frontier operations, and a parachute system. Armor of 7, thrusters for landing only, a couple of computers, dual cockpit, basic military sensors, a hardpoint, 65mm mass drivers, artillery rocket pods, anti-missile lasers, Arrow 27 heavy anti-aircraft missiles, multiple armories, automeds, ship's lockers, freshers, med bays, A-20 battle axe IFVs, subcraft, and Type 12 walkers times 15. 30-day supplies for 300 people, bunks for 180, small staterooms times 2, and 100 acceleration couches. So yeah, you can fit a bunch of people in there. So this Beachhead lander will plop down on the ground from orbit, and you've got an instant base loaded down with troops, weapons, and cool stuff. So pretty clever. Apparently unique to Manchuria. And then we have our deck plans here. You can see the different decks and accommodations here. Then we have our fighters. So these provide a number of functions. They provide force projection. They can scout and defend large ships from other fighters. And they can provide planetary defense and cover to merchant ships from pirates and raiders. We've got the Typhoon aerospace fighter from Germany from 2291. Needs just 2 pilots. Got a small signature of 2, but only 2 hull points as well. It's an aerospace fighter, so it's designed to work in space, but is truly at home in atmosphere. 2 additional burns of fuel for orbital operations, extended atmospheric operations, and to increase its operational world size range. Usually deployed from low orbit if possible. It's a 20-ton composite lifting body, thrusters, it's got advanced heat shield and VTOL properties, and 3 armor though. MHD turbine for power, no studded warp. It's got a basic military sensor suite, 2 hardened computers, Gatling laser, anti-missile laser, Arrow 27 heavy anti-aircraft missiles, and Manta 1 light anti-armor missiles. We've got the Mistral fighter from France, which is very cool looking. I like that design. Again, just need 2 pilots, a little bit beefier with 3 hull points instead of 2. First French fighter to be constructed solely from advanced composite materials. There we go. Now this one, it does have a studded warp, despite being only 30-ton composite lifting body. It's got a heat shield, an advanced trait, 6 armor, air-breathing thruster, advanced, 2.86 light years per day, attack speed 3, studded warp, MHD turbine for power. It's got an EA-1000 laser system, UTES targeting, Gatling laser and retractable mount, Arrow 27 heavy anti-aircraft missiles, anti-missile laser in retractable mount, Arrow 12 anti-vehicle missiles as well. It's got Ritage 2 target drones in a sling as well. FS-17A, built by the US. Got a more brutish design rather than the elegance of the French. It's a small, fully streamlined craft while possessing an armored arrow-like fuselage design. Doesn't have a powerful thruster for interface operations, but it has a small thruster for orbital operations and transiting. It can also be equipped with a pair of boosters, allowing it to launch from a planetary surface. And again, we have 2 pilots, 3 hull points for this bad boy. This one has a 20-ton composite lifting body, so it's a bit smaller. See a small cockpit here. It's got a heat shield, armor of 10, OMS thruster, 3.39 light years per day, and attack speed of 3. Not too bad on the starter warp front. MHD turbine for power, dual cockpit with encrypted comms, 2 computers, basic military sensors, EA-1000 laser array with UTES targeting, and it's got a sling to carry some drones as well. Then we got the Gustav from Germany. Very interesting design here with a sort of hexagonal solar array there. Based off of Bavarian design, but it's only been seen in service with the United DSKM. It's streamlined but not really intended for use in the atmosphere. A safety measure, basically. So if you have to abort to ground, you can get through the atmosphere mostly safely. It's not really deployed near planets. It's more of a deep space fighter. Again, we have 2 pilots, 3 hull points for this guy. It's a 30-ton composite lifting body, heat shield, and advanced armor of 4. Tech level 12 for this one, a little bit higher. 4.37 light years per day, attack speed of 4, so pretty fast little booger. AHDR radiators, dual cockpit with neural link, 2 hardened computers, advanced military sensors with DSS, EA-1000 with UTES targeting, and submunitions LHH-637, and it's got a 2-ton sling as well. The Assegai from Azania. This is a 20-ton synthetic space frame with radiation shield. It's an older generation of spacecraft. A space fighter with thrusters for orbital operations and stud warp drive, but not capable of atmospheric re-entry. It's got OMS thruster, as we can see, 2.65 light years per day, attack speed 3 stud warps, not too shabby even for an older design. OMS thrusters with 6 burns, straight up cockpit with encrypted comms, nothing special, 2 regular computers, basic military sensors, double L88 fixed retractable mount weapon with light TTA, so plus nil to the targeting. And it has a combat drone, the Ritage 1. It's small with only 2 hull points and 20-ton space frame. And we can see that guy here and its deck plans. 5 decks in this tiny little thing. Then we get our small ships. So these are the patrol vessels and eyes of the fleet. Small ships under 500 tons and often capable of interface travel. Tend to be general purpose and are among the most common vessels that travelers will encounter. So first up we have the Cerberus System Defense Sensor Carrier, built by France in 2295. Comfort rating -1. Quite a bit of crew required. We see it's got 11 hull points. It is tech level 12, though, 110-ton synthetic space frame, OMS thruster. Only 1.4 light years per day, though, so not very fast on the starter warp front. MHD turbine for power. It does have a neural link bridge. It's got DSS GADs and a telescope for sensors, as well as basic military. It's got an LL98 retractable surface mount with UTES targeting. Ritage 2 combat drone, 4 drone controllers, 12 0G rack capsules. Battle system software, which is nice. We have the Burger quarantine cutter, also from France in 2293. It's a 60-ton composite airframe with advanced radiation shield. 4 armor, OMS thruster advanced, 2.68 light years per day, so significantly faster than our Cerberus over there. It's also much smaller. Got HDR radiators, encrypted comms, 2 hardened computers, basic military DSS GADs and telescope sensors, LL98 retractable surface mounts, TTA targeting for -1, but also fire control +1. It's got acceleration couches ×10 and 10 long duration couches. Life support for only 7 days. Compared to 28 days for the Cerberus. And we can see the look of it here. It's got that funny little solar panel thing that the Germans seem to like. And we have the Starwolf fast attack boat, 150-ton synthetic space frame. It's radiation shield, stealth, and advanced, tech level 12. Armor of 2, nuclear OMS thrusters, advanced, 3.78 light years per day, attack speed of 4, pretty good. Fission reactor for power, HDR radiators, neural link bridge, 2 hardened computers, advanced military sensors, basic survey sensors, DSS and GADs. It's got an EA-1000 and a retractable surface mount with UTS targeting. Carries SIM-14 drones and big clip submunitions. 54 days of supplies for 13 people. So it's relatively small, but decent amount of firepower in this little guy, 150 tons. Then we got the Exeter class patrol vessel from the UK, built in 2287. Pretty cool looking, actually, this one. Mainly used to sell to private contractors. It's flexible and has a small crew size, so it's ideal for small militias and private operators. It's got 2 high dynamics EA-122 laser arrays on retractable mounts, tied into a targeting computer, some armoring of the hull, and sensors to detect enemies at reasonable distance. There we go. 300-ton composite lifting body with heat shield, advanced VTOL and frontier operations, 2 armor, air-breathing thrusters, 2.29 light years per day, attack speed 2, starter warp, MHD turbine for power, HDR radiators, encrypted comms, 2 hardened computers, basic military, DSS GADs and telescope, EA-122 ×2 with UTES targeting, some spin gravity available, that's helpful. Under spin, you've got 35 small staterooms, and then 6 rack capsules as well. 28 days of supplies for 35 people. And here we can see the layout and deck plan. We've got the bridge, a huge amount of fuel space, of course. course, and the rest we have are staterooms, which are under spin, but it's only 0.15 Gs at 3 RPM. But, at least it's better than nothing. We got the Sachsen class frigate from Germany. Comfort rating -1, unfortunately. So this is a part of a battle group screening forces. It's a 400-ton synthetic space frame with a radiation shield. Armor of 4, OMS thrusters advanced, 1.98 light years per day, attack speed of 2. Not too bad. MHD turbines and solar panels for power. It's got emergency power as well. 9 burns in its thruster. 2 hardened computers. Basic military, basic survey, DSS and GADS. LL98 times 4 and 2 batteries of 2 for weapons. TTA targeting, which gives it a -1, but also fire control +1. SR9 times 4 combat drones and LHH637 times 2 combat drones. And then it has a number of facilities. Tumfalka spaceplane in the berth, small staterooms times 8, bunks for 51, and 1 stateroom. 54 days of supplies for 60 people. All right. The deck plan for the Sachsen class is very interesting. It's really confined here, and then the rest is just fuel, I suppose. We have the Myrmidon system defense boat from the nation of Freihofen. 2292 was built, a small warship designed to be built relatively cheaply by both military and civilian yards across human space. So it's got a couple of license-built LL98 beam laser arrays with UTES targeting, a light grape shot dispenser, and a big clip complete the integral armament, while a magnetic sling able to carry a SIM-14 missile pack provides for long-range firepower. That's pretty decent. So I can cover a little bit of everything. 200-ton aligned crystal steel space frame, radiation shield, armor of 4, OMS advanced thrusters, 2.08 light years per day, attack speed of 2, MHD turbine, 8 burns in the thruster, couple of computers, Neuralink bridge, basic military, DSS GADS and telescope sensors, LL98 times 2 with UTES targeting plus fire control. It's got sub-munitions of grape shot, then it's got the sling for 30 tons. And we can see that strange shape reflected in the odd shape of the deck plan with these big fuel pods glommed onto the outside. Comfort rating -1, but it does have supply for 28 days for 21 people. Then we got the Tonghu light patrol craft from Manchuria, built in 2244, so a bit old school compared to some of the others. It's unstreamlined, a 300-ton composite space frame with radiation shield and stealth, advanced OMS thruster, 2.08 light years per day, attack speed 2, stutter warp, so pretty average. MHD turbine for power. It's got 6 burns in its thrusters. It's got 2 hardened computers, advanced military, DSS GADS and telescope sensors, LL98 times 2 and 2 batteries, light TTA targeting, and fire control for an overall +1, and 8 Fantan combat drones. Then it's got quite a bit of useful equipment and a 50-ton sling for additional missile pods, 6 small staterooms, and bunks for 42 with no spin gravity. Comfort rating -2. Ouch. Then we have our large ships. They're the backbone of any space military, ranging in size from 600 up to 5,000 tons. None of these ships has interface capability. Most would be unable to support their own weight and gravity. Makes sense. We've got the Surcouf deterrence missile boat by France. The very existence of these only came to light in the last 5 years, apparently, so there's very little public information available. But we do nevertheless have deck plans and stats for everything. 800 tons, pretty decent size, composite space frame, tech level 12, radiation shield advanced and stealth, it's nice. Nuclear OMS thrusters advanced, 3.37 light years per day, attack speed of 3, getting better. We've got a fusion reactor for power, that's nice. Nuclear thrusters, HDR radiators, pretty good heat sinks, Neuralink bridge, very advanced military sensors, DSS GADS and telescopes. For weapons, it's got EA-1000s with UTES and Type 29 PDCs, and UTES of course giving it a bonus to attack rolls. Then it has a number of useful systems for the crew, a Voir sensor drone, 8 Châtiment IPSW in berths, small staterooms times 20 in 0G. Got supplies for 120 days for 20 people, not too bad. Basic and sensible deck plan here, cargo space, general common areas, and then a variety of staterooms crammed together. What's the comfort rating? -1, so a little better than the Tonghu. You got the Retribution interplanetary strike weapon from France. This is an interesting one. So it's a high-performance drone that relies on speed and stealth versus active sensors. It's got 9 Ritage 2 missiles intended to swarm aerospace defenses and inflict heavy damage on enemy ships and orbital assets. Traveling at 4.44 light years per day, you can fire these ahead of the fleet and do some serious damage. It's got autopilot skill 2. It's 40-ton synthetic ballistic hull with OMS advanced thrusters, advanced stealth, and disposable. Fast stutter warp, as I mentioned, MHD turbine for power, 2 hard computers, 9 Ritage 2 combat drones, as we saw, 9 drone controllers. So yeah, this is a pretty brutal interplanetary strike weapon. We have the Racine Fleet Signals Intelligence Vessel, dual hub spin capsule here in the middle. The lead craft in the Racine class for the US, laid down in 2296. They're not intended as combatants and are armed only for self-defense, but carries the most sophisticated electronic suite ever put into a spacecraft. Cool. So it's a 500-ton composite space frame with radiation shield and advanced, 4 armor, nuclear OMS thrusters, 3.22 light years per day, attack speed 3, not too bad. Fusion reactor for power, HDR radiators, neural link bridge, 2 hardened computers, very advanced military, advanced survey, DSS, GADS, telescope, extendable array, enhanced signal processing, and military countermeasure sensors. EA-122 laser arrays, hardened, UTES times 2, Type 29 PDCs that are also hardened, 6 Sim-14 combat drones, 30-day supply for 75 people. Under spin, it has 75 small staterooms. So all the staterooms are in those spin capsules. And the rest will be all those heavy sensor arrays and PDCs and everything else. So pretty interesting. Not designed for face-to-face combat, but intelligence gathering. And here we can see all the stacks of staterooms in those spin capsules. And we've got the Soufrienne battlecruiser from France from 2276. Quite a big boy. Comfort rating -1. We can see it needs a lot of crew. 260 hull points, signature of 5, so hard to miss. High drone complement and sufficient controllers and crew to have up to 20 in the air at once. Yikes. There's also a carrier variant with 2 examples carrying 8 Martel or 12 Mistral fighters in place of landers and troops. This version retains the artillery railguns and all other armament. So this is a 2,000-ton ship, the biggest one so far. It's advanced with a radiation shield, armor of 6, nuclear OMS thrusters, advanced 2.95 light years per day, attack speed 3 for start of warp. Fusion reactor with lots of power, nuclear OMS thrusters, subcraft refueling, HDR radiators, large bridge, 2 hardened computers, and a targeting computer, 14 retractable L98 lasers with UTES, ARG56 times 2 retractable with UTES as well, screens with rating of 4, UTES and fire control +2, 10 combat drones Retage 1 and 10 Retage 2, 6 drone controllers, 30 personnel in the Tactical Action Center, lots of useful facilities under spin, and 20 repair remotes, EDA 150 combat landers times 3 in the berths, 9 small staterooms, rack capsules times 65, with each one holding 2, and bunks for 3 times 100. It's got extendable spin capsules. Wow. 0.45 G, not too bad. So better than Mars. Here we see the deck plan. We've got some common areas, cargo holds, and other stuff. Workshop, med bays, pretty big boy, 2,000 tons. Here we have the Bismarck battleship, appropriately named enough, from Germany. A lot of personnel. Comfort rating 0, so not too bad. It's heavily armed with drones and energy weapons, so it relies on support craft and drones to engage hostile fighters and drones. The particle beam batteries are not effective at targeting smaller craft, but can inflict grievous damage on larger vessels. Cool. It also carries 10 Gustav fighters and a pair of heavy combat landers based on a militarized SLV-55, along with 4 aerospace support craft. Yeah. So this is a 2,100-ton composite space frame, radiation shield and advanced traits, nuclear OMS thrusters, 2.87 light years per day, attack speed of 3, fusion reactor for power, nuclear OMS thruster with 8 burns, 4 subcraft refuels, 2 hardened computers, advanced military, basic military, standard survey, DSS, GADS, telescope, and countermeasure suites, EA 1000 times 4, and Allen PBWS times 6, also hardened for your weapons, screens with a rating of 5, a couple of bonuses for targeting from UTES and the targeting computer, SR 10 times 12 combat drones with 6 drone controllers, bunch of facilities, 100-ton sling for more drones and missiles, repair remotes times 10, 10 Gustav fighters, 2 SL-55 scout landers, and 4 Typhoon aerospace fighters, and accommodation 160 staterooms under spin, plus 3 staterooms, plus bunks for 3 times 30, and it's got extendable spin capsules so we can retract them to reduce its signature. Yeah, 60 days supply for 250 people. Another big boy. And here we can see a huge amount of staterooms, just loads and loads of them. Alright, then we got the Qianlong patrol craft from Manchuria. Another big boy, it looks like, with lots of crew. Comfort rating +0. Better than usual for the Chinese ships we've seen so far on the military front. And there's a rumor of a nuclear-powered variant of this ship that's much faster, but externally resembles the low-powered version. It would require a careful examination of their radiated signature to determine the difference. That's pretty cool. That's a nice little wrinkle there, isn't it? It's an 800-ton composite space frame with a radiation shield, armor of 5, OMS thrusters, 2.01 light years per day, so not very fast, MHD turbines, or possibly nuclear, who knows, OMS thrusters with 5 burns, subcraft fuel for 2 refills, HDR radiators, 2 hardened computers, advanced military, basic military, standard survey, DSS, GADS, and telescopes for sensors, EA-122 laser arrays times 8, and 2 batteries of 4, and targeting computer plus light TTA for those. Fan-Tan combat drones times 8, 2 drone controllers, 2 Jian fighters in berths. Under spin, it's got 67 small staterooms and 3 regular staterooms, and the spin capsules are extendable. And again, 0.45 G, so pretty decent as far as the artificial gravity goes. Then we've got the Richelieu battleship, again from France. Pretty chunky middle section there. That's interesting. This one is a Gen 2 starter warp and laid down in 2286. It carries 6 Martel gunboats and a significant amount of firepower devoted to them. It's also got EDA 60 medium landers. Later ships reduced the gunboat complement, swapped out the 9 EDA 60 for 3 EDA 150s, and added upgraded combat drone capabilities and heavier weapons. Alright. Comfort rating +1. Not bad for a military vessel. It's a 5,000-ton battleship. Holy moly. With advanced and radiation shield traits, 6 armor, nuclear OMS thrusters advanced, 2.44 light years per day, attack speed of 2. Not great, but it is gigantic. Nuclear OMS thrusters with 6 burns, 2 subcraft refuels, HDR oversized radiators to help cut down on the signature, 2 large hardened computers, very advanced military, DSS GADs, and telescope sensors, LL98 laser arrays times 30 and 15 batteries of 2, TTA -1 targeting though, so it's -1. Combat drones has got 20 Retage 2s, 26 personnel in the Tactical Action Center. A lot of stuff under spin, including an operating theater and recovery ward. It's got 6 Martel gunboats, EDA 68 combat landers times 9, but as mentioned, they can be upgraded. It's got a double hull for artificial gravity with 1,640 tons under spin, so that's this big chunk here. The accommodations under spin, we've got 280 small staterooms, double rack capsules times 525, and 3 staterooms. So you can carry a lot of troops on this one. It is a battleship after all. And you can see from the deck plans, really, there are a gigantic number of staterooms. Just huge amounts of people can fit in this thing. So it is a big, big boy. Then we have the Aness or Donkey fleet replenishment ship, also by France. So this is a support ship for fleets that are far away from home. So comfort rating of +1 and 100 days of life support for 130 people. So I guess their missions will tend to be longer as they need to stick around and support ships. It's got a 3,000-ton aligned crystal steel space frame, nuclear OMS thruster, only 1.7 light year per day starter warp though, fission reactor, nuclear OMS thruster with 6 burns, 2 hardened computers, basic military DSS GADs and telescope, 8 LL98 surface mounts with UTES targeting, rating 4 screens, 5 inspection remotes, 10 repair remotes, an R40 pinnace in the berth, 3 worker bees as well. Under spin, it's got 130 small staterooms and 8 regular staterooms with 0.4 G for the spin. Not too bad. So yeah, it carries 875.4 tons of cargo and 1,000 tons of fuel. It's for fuel and cargo to support the fleet. So ammunition, food, all that kind of stuff. And here you can see just enormous amounts of cargo room. And then we get to the staterooms eventually. And the whole cylinder is kind of mapped out there. And then we have variant ships. So we have the Necessité class auxiliary cruiser. Comfort rating +0, but a decent amount of crew involved. Hull points of 100. Signature of 7. So very obvious. It's a 1,000-ton aligned crystal steel space frame with radiation shield, OMS thrusters, 1.1 light years per day. Not great. MHD turbine for power, OMS thruster with 4 burns, secondary power plant, and subcraft fuel for 2 refills. 2 regular computers, no hardening, basic nav array, basic military, DSS and GADs, LL98 times 8 lasers and 2 batteries of 4, and Type 17 PDC times 2. Rating 4 screens. It's got TTA targeting for a -1, but has fire control for a +1. 20 Retage 2 combat drones, and a bunch of useful stuff, +5 repair remotes, 4 Assegai fighters. Under spin, there's 5 staterooms, 28 small staterooms, and in 0G there's 14 more small staterooms as well. The spinning part is a double hull situation, so there's 108 tons under spin. Gravity 0.15 G, so not super great, but a relatively short mission design, 30 days of supplies. And here we can see the design of this Necessité, the drive systems, cargo decks, the habitation areas under spin. And we have the Sabre weapons module. So it's an aftermarket module produced by the Freihafen subsidiary of Rheinmetall in response to a growing need for armed civilian ships on the French arm. Okay. So as the Käfer incursion starts to grow, more civilians are looking for protection. So they built these weapons modules. It's a 36-ton synthetic space frame with an MHD turbine, power 42. It's got its own computer, basic military sensors, an L98 retractable array, rating 2 screens, light TTA, 2 Retage 1 combat drones, 6 personnel in the tactical action center. It's got a standard airlock and a safety locker as well. So it only needs TAC crew because all the other crew requirements are met by the carrying vessel. This is just sort of a clap-on module to a larger civilian spacecraft. That's pretty cool. Then we've got space station stuff. So we've got some modules that you would build ISS style for a modular frame. On a space station, we have a 30-ton synthetic space frame with radiation shielding, small computer for a HAB module. It's got life support, exercise equipment, 8 small staterooms. Comfort rating is -1, unfortunately. And we can see interesting deck plans there. People will be sort of strapped to the outside. Then we have lab modules. So these will carry 4 researchers and 4 technicians. They can be used for a lot of different purposes, including manufacturing components or testing out things in space or testing pharmaceuticals or whatever. It's another 30-ton with radiation shield module with a somewhat bigger computer for the computational load of lab experiments. And it's got 4 general lab spaces, a workshop, a library, safety locker, and simple fresher. And we can see the design laid out here. It's got a place to sit, but nowhere to sleep. As for the hab modules. System modules, they provide power and systems management for up to 1,000 tons of station out of only a 30-ton space frame. Not too bad. It's got a radiation shield, 30 tons again, primary and secondary computer, basic nav array. It's got service equipment for 1,000 tons of station, an inspection remote, and 2 repair remotes. Plus, it's got our auto repair software as well. And an ops software to look after the station. We got the factory module, so it's a 40-ton module, a little bit bigger and chunkier. It's got a radiation shield, of course, a primary computer of 10. It's got an auto factory workshop, safety locker, and simple fresher. So this is for building stuff. Then we got your weapons module, so relatively uncommon for space stations, but sometimes useful. 50-ton synthetic space frame, radiation shield, MHD turbine for power, 2 computers, basic military and DSS sensors, EA-1000 weapons, screens with a rating of 3, light TTA, but it's got fire control +1 to compensate for the lack of UTES targeting, 3 Retage 1 plus 3 boosters for them as well to give them some range. Handy when you're a station and can't do more than station keeping to move around. Then we have the deck plans there. And we got a work shack. So this was built by Germany in 2293. Typical work shack uses several different modules connected by a truss with a solar array to provide power for that system. This uses solar power, 2 hab modules, 2 lab modules, a factory module, and a service module. It's got a 5-way and 2-way set of connectors and a truss, and it's got a rail and manipulator arm. Your crew, you'll need 10 lab technicians, a factory technician, and 2 maintenance technicians. More than 1,000 in service. So it's just a handy little plug and go space station for getting some basic work done. Augereau Station by France, built in 2150. A large torus orbiting the gas giant Ilao in the Augereau system. It has a permanent population of nearly 2,000 people, and the transient population varies from 500 to 3,000 depending on system traffic. Wow. So this is a big ring station. We've got the core here with the power plant at the end. TL-11, 18,850 ton aligned crystal steel space frame with radiation shield and cemented lunar aggregate. So that's the lunar regolith basically. 12 armor from the radiation shield. Got Neuralink bridge, single large computer core that's hardened, 4 telescopes, 20 drone controllers, 189 airlocks, so it can handle a lot of ships traffic coming in. It's got a spun hull with a 500 meter radius, gravity 0.7 Gs, and takes 14.4 minutes to spin up or spin down. Got 2 levels of auto repair, intellect, neural interface, ops, and security, and it's got improved endurance life support, which gives you 1 year for 4,000 people. And we can see the deck plans are fairly extensive here. Some of it's been obviously shrunken down. 1 square equaling 10 tons in this case on this map. Then we have the station core. It gets its own listing here, and we can see it's got these decks. It's a TL-10 station core with a 10,000 ton aligned crystal steel space frame with radiation shields. Station keeping thrusters have fuel. It's got a fusion reactor. It's got a neural link command center, primary hardened computer core, advanced military, basic military, DSS, and telescope sensors. 10 Type 17 PDCs with UTES targeting and fire control 1. 10 drone controllers, VAR sensor drones times 4, inspection remotes times 20, repair remotes times 50, keep the station going. Standard airlocks times 100, auto repair 2, and fire control 1 software. Comfort rating +0. Not as comfy as could be, potentially. Let me see the rest of the decks of that section there. Now we get to the alien spacecraft. So there are 3 extant civilizations, of course. We've got the Sung, the Pentapods, and the Kafirs. The Sung don't yet have stutter warp, so they're not as much of a problem. The Kafirs are quite advanced and fairly belligerent, so they're the ones that will lead to the invasion campaign. So here's a Kafir Alpha battleship, 2,000 ton composite space frame, tech level 13, mind you. Radiation shield, advanced, 14 armor, OMS nuclear thrusters, 1.87 light years per day, attack speed 2, stutter warp. Fusion reactor, OMS nuclear thruster with 20 burns, not bad. HDR radiators, 2 regular computers, Skywatch sensors, advanced military DSS and GAD. Got 14 grumblers with cuts targeting, 4 grazers, hardened gun towers with cuts, screens rating of 8, targeting with cuts obviously, 20 X-ray combat drones, 33 personnel in the Tactical Action Center. It's got a 200 ton sling and a warhead workshop, Gulf fighters times 4, Llama light landers times 4, and Lima heavy lander in the external sling. And it's got 520 in nests, 10 burrows, and 20 pits. Wow. It's a big boy. There it is. As per usual, they don't use spin gravity. They just don't give a damn. We don't know if that's because they're better at 0G or they just don't care or how their mind works, but they just don't use spin gravity. And here we have the layout for the deck plans, which seems to be going along that direction. Shape of the decks changes depending on where you are as you move within the ship. Then we've got the Epsilon Assault Transport, also KFIRS, tech level 13, 1500 ton aligned crystal steel space frame, radiation shield advanced, armor of 4, OMS nuclear thruster advanced, 1.52 light years per day, attack speed 2, not great. Does have a fusion reactor with backup power though, and 4 refuels for its subcraft, HDR radiators, standard bridge, standard computers and backup, seagull sensors, basic military and DSS, 6 grumblers, and a grinder, both with cuts targeting, 2 drone controllers, 4 200-ton slings, 4 Limas in those slings, nest times 750, burrows times 20, and it's got 60-day supplies for 770 KFIRS. Wow, and a big crew required. Comfort rating doesn't matter for the KFIRS. They don't even list it. Here we can see some more of the deck plans. We've got the India Destroyer. So this is on the lighter side at 400 tons composite space frame, tech level 13. Radiation shield with advanced and stealth. OMS thruster advanced, a little bit faster at 2.09 light years per day, attack speed 2. MHD turbine for power. HDR radiators. Pretty bog standard communications, Skywatch sensors, advanced military DSS and GADS, and a telescope. And 2 grumblers with cuts targeting and fire control, 4 X-ray combat drones, and 50 NAS-3 burrows, and 2 cocoons. Interesting. 60 days, supplies for 55 KFIRS. See, the editing needs a bit of work here. We've got, 770 people, 55 KFIRS. We've got cuts here, and it says UTES for KFIRS stuff in the other book. Just a little bit of cleanup could be done on these books, but nothing major. It's an interesting looking ship. It's kind of bug-like, which suits their sensibilities. Quite a few crew required, 52 hull points. I imagine it's fairly crammed in there, but again, the KFIRS don't seem to mind that. Then we've got the Hotel Fighter, 40-ton composite lifting body, heat shield advanced frontier operations, again tech level 13. Armor of 5 with advanced air breathing thrusters, 3.24 light years per day, attack speed 3, start of warp, pretty decent. 11 burns on the thruster, MHD turbine power, 3 single cockpits. The KFIRS are not into multiple people in the cockpit, they like to be separate. Spoon rest sensors, basic military. Surface mount grumbler with cuts, a tri-beamer, 4X anti-armor missiles, 200 kilogram bombs times 8 cuts. It gets +1, +2 for vehicle weapons. Interesting. It also carries 2 Whiskey combat drones. Yeah, a decent little fighter there. And we have the Gulf Fighter, which is a heavier one at 60 tons, radiation shield and advanced traits there. Tech level 13, 11 armor. Wow. OMS thruster advanced, 3.82 light years per day. Attack speed 4, start of warp. That's pretty good. MHD turbine, OMS thruster with 6 burns, HDR radiators, 3 separate cockpits, seagull sensors, basic military and DSS, grumbler with cuts, grazer with cuts, and it's got a targeting computer as well for another +1, and 2 X-ray combat drones. Crew, you need a pilot and 2 weapons operators. Pretty tough little heavy fighter, I have to say. Pretty fast and a decent firepower behind it as well. Then we've got the Llama Lander. So this is a light lander capable of carrying a single squad of troops and their support vehicle to the surface. It's armed only with air-to-surface support weapons like a tri-beamer plasma gun and a pair of retractable rocket pods. The most common vehicle carried aboard is called the Bug Bus, an open but armored half-track. 22-ton composite lifting body with advanced heat shield, stealth, frontier operations, and vertical takeoff and landing. It's got air-breathing advanced thrusters, MHD turbine for power, dual cockpit, HDR radiators, basic computer, 10 Kingfisher missiles, 20 Snapfire missiles, and a retractable tri-beamer, targeting computer for +1, acceleration gouges times 10, and a bug bus. And that's how the Llama looks like. Doesn't look like a llama at all. I feel deceived. But its signature is 0. So that's pretty handy. Lima Lander, which is much bigger, 200-ton synthetic airframe. Still tech level 13, heat shield, advanced, frontier operations, VTOL, 11 armor, nuclear thrusters, air breathing and advanced, fission reactor, nuclear thrusters, HDR radiators, 3 cockpits, 2 computers, basic military sensors, 40 400 kilogram bombs, artillery missile launchers times 8, fire control +2, 3 death sleds in the berths, 200 0G acceleration couches. Look at them absolutely packed in there. So Lima Lander is for bringing lots of ground troops all at once. Yeah, 200 troops per go. Now we got the pentapods. So they're very weird. Their ships are alive and they don't use crew. They have sort of nervous system nodes that are treated like characters, but only with certain characteristics. And they have skills. So they have the properties of a spacecraft, but they have skills like a character. So it makes them quite interesting in that way. This is called the Far Traveller Expansion Explorer, or the Far Traveller. It's a 100-ton chitinous lifting body with heat shield, vertical takeoff and landing. It's got an air-breathing rocket and lift envelope, so it can float around in the atmosphere. 5.5 light years per day, attack speed 6. Wow. Pretty fast. It's got a thermodynamic accumulator for power, 4 burns on a rocket, 1 primary node and 16 secondary nodes, nav radar, NI/UV, 4 manipulators and a grappling arm, and 2 sys and a chamber for passengers if needed, and 75 days worth of biomass to keep the ship going. So the ship needs to consume biomass for repairs and to keep itself fueled up and ready to move about. Then we got the Space Predator, Defender, Shadow Striker, or the Void Shark, as humans call it. So it's a 300-ton chitinous lifting body with vertical takeoff and landing. 4 armor. It's got an advanced rocket with a lift envelope again. 3.18 light years per day, not bad. Attack speed of 3. Thermodynamic accumulator again for power. 4 burns on the rocket. Just 1 prime node for the bridge. Got 2 retractable biolasers, a biosampler, and a capture system. No targeting, so -4. The biolasers, not great. 23 nodes, 10 sys, and 5 chambers for pentapod passengers. And here we have the Space Predator deck plans as well as the stats of the primary node. So it's got a Gunner Turret 2, Recon 3, Pilot Spacecraft 3, and Tactics Naval 2. So pretty functional just on its own. It looks weirdly similar to something that could be made by the Minbari in Babylon 5. That kind of shape reminds me of that. Their ships had a bit of an organic vibe as well. And then we have the Expansion Trade Growth Jelly. So they're a giant glob of viscous material trailing a long cluster of tentacles that presumably aid in loading cargo. It's a 10,000-ton viscous sphere with a pentapod biorocket advanced. 0.52 light years per day, attack speed of 1, so pretty slow. Thermodynamic accumulator for power, 4 burns on the rocket. It's got 1 prime node and 55 secondary nodes. Nav radar, NI/UV, high-res, microwave, high-res radio, and high-res sensors. So a lot of high-res going on. 20 manipulators, 20 grappling arms, 20 loading arms. It's got human accommodations, 50 tons of common areas, 2 freshers, 10 full galleys, exercise equipment, and a theater, as well as 10 staterooms. Then it's got 100 sphincters for airlocks, 50 sys and a chamber for pentapod passengers, a tree of life for long-term life support, and biomass to support itself for 75 days. So its skills are focused on admin, broker, astrogation, diplomat, of course piloting, profession biologicals 4, interesting, and science linguistics 2. So, yeah, I mean, it can sort of handle trades by itself. That's pretty interesting. And it's a big boy, 10,000 tons, right? So there's an enormous amount of space in this thing. Huge amount of cargo it can carry. And it's nice that it has some space for humans as well. Lastly, for the pentapods, we've got the Climber Fire Rider, or the Bumblebee. Tiny little guy here. 20-ton chitinous lifting body. Looks a little bit bug-like there. It's got an air-breathing rocket with lift envelope, thermodynamic accumulator for power, 3 burns on the rocket, a single prime node for the bridge, NI/UV sensors, 2 sys and 2 alcoves for accommodation, biomass for 75 days. It's got piloting at 3 for spacecraft, recon 1, and science history 1. A pretty focused design, very small, able to take 2 passengers and 3 tons of cargo into low orbit. It is, of course, self-aware and designed to operate from a world of size 7. On larger worlds, it won't have enough juice to get into low orbit. Then we got the Sung spacecraft. So these guys, remember, don't have stutter warp. So they're a little bit behind in that respect. They have the Starglider spaceplane. So it's a workhorse of a design used for interface transport of people and cargo. It's a large capacity delta-winged airframe and an additional 3 burns of fuel for orbital operations and extended atmospheric operations. It's a 50-ton synthetic airframe, advanced heat shield with VTOL, a fuel cell with power 2, a fuel tank with 6 burns for the rocket, conventional radiators, neural link flight deck, 2 hardened computers, minimal sensors, standard airlock, 80 acceleration couches, tech level 12. So it's tech level 12, but it doesn't seem very sophisticated. A lot of acceleration couches packed together here, so it has enough supplies for 5 days for 10 people. So it really is just about getting people up into orbit. Then we have the Raptor Aerospace Fighter, and this one is a 25-ton synthetic lifting body, advanced heat shield and VTOL traits, 2 armor, advanced air-breathing rocket, MHD turbines, dual cockpit with neural link, 2 hardened computers, minimal sensors, lightning spear laser array with UTES targeting, anti-missile laser, Gatling laser, and light anti-aircraft missiles times 8. It's got UTES and targeting computer, and a 3-ton sling as well. So this is a new design with the first dozen entering service in 2298. Designed to lift from a size 7 world, but it can lift from Stark as well, and an additional burn of fuel for orbital operations and extended atmospheric operations. And there you go, pretty simple lifting body design. The crew, you just have a primary node and only 2 hull points, so don't get shot. Then we have the Empire System Dominance Vessel. Look at this guy. Big, long solar panels sticking out. Comfort rating of 0, -2 for humans. The ship is armed with a mix of railguns, lasers, and short-range high-impulse missiles. Use a mix of hypervelocity fragmenting warheads and bomb-pumped lasers similar to human submunitions. So they picked these ideas up from watching the humans attack them, essentially. And we can see it's a 600-ton synthetic space frame, advanced fiber-reinforced ice armor, FRIA, with 6 that can be burned off by laser weapons. It's got the Sung OMS rocket advanced ion drive, so not very fast, MHD turbine, a Neuralink bridge, 2 hardened computers, advanced military DSS telescope. Got 2 lightning spears with UTES, fast hammers ×2 with UTES, and star hammers ×2. Got 10 personnel in the tactical action center. Got 8 communication satellites, 5 inspection remotes, 12 navigation satellites, and 8 repair remotes, 6 small staterooms under spin, and 70 sleepers. And it's got extendable spin capsules, which give you 0.3 G of gravity. Enough life support for 1 year for 75 people. Not too bad. Carries quite a few people and a lot of humanoid type technology, so they've definitely picked up some tricks from us. And here we see the rest of the deck plans there with the tactical action center at 17, which is here, a few other bits and bobs. And then we got some vehicles, which are often carried on board. So we have the Auroch-wheeled IFV, used by French forces, armored fighting vehicles, and all-terrain vehicles, anti-missile systems, rotary autocannons, Arrow 12 missiles, medium machine guns, and laser anti-missile systems. And it's got an autopilot, decent communication range, decent navigation and sensor DMs, but not very good at stealth or camouflage. The battle axe is the standard Star Mobile IFV in Manchuria. It's equipped with 4 firing ports that can accommodate the standard Wu Beijing Type 49 assault carbine. It also has 25mm autocannon, TAC missile pod, and it's got AFV and ATV traits as well. So it's slower than the Auroch from France, and very short communications range. Worse DMs on most respects except for camouflage and stealth where it comes out ahead. Then we've got the Kafer Crawler. It's bigger and better protected than the more common Bug Bus. It's an AFV and ATV, a very small communications range, +1 navigation, -1 camouflage. It's medium, so reasonably fast for a tracked vehicle. Got a 12.1mm machine gun and a beamer weapon with a blast radius of 5. And the Kafer Death Sled is a monster hovercraft bristling with weapons, TL-12, high speed. It's got a hover drive. It's an armored fighting vehicle. It's got loads of specialist fighting equipment. It's got a 500km communications range, +1 navigation, +3 sensors, +1 camouflage. It's got tons of weapons, 12.1mm machine gun, 22.2mm autocannon, 101.3mm mass driver with 5 double D damage, so that's 5D times 10. Beamer, laser system, Kingfisher missile, and minigun anti-missile system. So it's a tough bad boy. And then we have our index, and that is the end of the ship book for 2300 AD, the Ships of the Frontier. So what do I think of this book? I think it's great value, basically. There's 81 ships and vehicles and stuff in here. It's got a little bit of everything, and it really gives you that sense of completion of the vibe of 2300 AD. You've got all those interface craft, you've got suborbital craft, you've got drop pods, landers, typical vehicles, you've got some cool craft to throw in from the aliens that we don't know much about, we don't really understand them, so there's a lot of elements of mystery there to discover. In tandem with the Aerospace Engineer's Handbook, you can build more spacecraft for those alien races and throw in some more surprises, so I think that's a nice fun combination. Basically, like any sci-fi space opera type game. I mean, this is more hard sci-fi than space opera, but you know what I mean. So for this type of hard sci-fi game, having fully built out standard designs for all the classes of key spacecraft is really important. We have aerospace craft, interface craft, spaceships and starships beyond that, plus even the vehicles and alien spacecraft. We've got all of that. So everything you need to play in setting at a basic level is available here in this book for you. I definitely would say if you're going to buy a supplement after buying the main box set, this would be the one to get, because exploration, dealing with the potential Kafer invasion, the tensions between different factions, those are real popular sources of adventure in 2300 AD, and so for all of those you need ships, and you need info about ships, and you need some drama to happen on those ships. So you should buy this book first. I didn't do that because I got a good deal on the tools and vehicle supplements for some reason. Can't remember exactly what it was. But then later I bought Ships of the Frontier and the Aerospace Engineer's Handbook from Dungeonland, and I think Ships of the Frontier should come first. Then if you want more, get yourself the Aerospace Engineer's Handbook. That would be my suggestion. And then vehicles after that and Tools of the Frontier. They're kind of equidistant, I suppose, in terms of importance from the core box. I think for the players, you'd want to look into the Tools book because that will will be the stuff that's relevant to you. For the referee, get the vehicles book, so you've got those to reference. A lot of action in 2300 AD will also take place on planetary surfaces. Because it is more difficult to get from the surface into orbit and vice versa, there's an interesting opportunities for drama in that transition. That's something that excites me about this hard sci-fi approach to the Traveller system. And as I mentioned, this type of game, having those wide variety of craft already built out for you that you can play with. A lot of them have additional subcraft strapped onto them, particularly the larger ships that can never do interface operations. It's just great to have this as a resource. So if you get the core book, you try it out for a bit, and you enjoy it yourself, then I would get this next. Definitely if you're the referee. And make sure you have this arsenal of ships in your referee's bag of tricks. In a hard sci-fi setting, that's what you want, isn't it? You want big, clunky, but powerful spacecraft that take you through the void. You want an element of danger and complexity to it. Yeah, so this, along with the Aerospace Engineer's Guide with the advanced combat rules, I think is a really nice fit once you've got the initial feel for how you feel about the core box. Yeah, I think this is really essential, basically, for a referee for 2300 AD, so you definitely should get it. Ship designs are appealing and varied. The book, as usual, is really well made. There are some typos and small errors, but nothing that is game-breaking or so that I've seen so far, so I can recommend it without much reservation. Just go ahead and pick it up. In any case, I hope this video was useful, and that hopefully some of you out there will be willing to give 2300 AD a try. It really is fun. I really hope that it sees more support after the release of the Invasion campaign, but God, please, Mongoose, give us a self-contained 2300 AD core rulebook, please. I guarantee you won't regret it. Seriously. I'll write the damn thing if you want. Pay me, obviously. I'm not going to do it for free, but I will write it for you if you want. It's a great setting, but as I say, we'll be looking at alternatives that are available out there on the OGL and other similar sci-fi engines for RPG gameplay to see if they have anything substantial to offer. So look forward to that in the future. As the Invasion campaign comes out, I would like to talk about that once the hard copies are available. In the meantime, please leave a comment down below if you have any questions or any comments or anything you want to know about this book or the rest of the 2300 AD line. I'm really happy to try and help explain it to you and can, sell you on it. Basically, I think it's a really good line and a lot of fun and deserves more support. If you want to support the channel, please click like and subscribe. And of course, if you want to support me more directly, you can click the Ko-fi link down below and buy me a coffee, and any little bit of money helps because I really do buy a lot of RPG stuff. Thanks for supporting the channel. I hope you're having a great time out there, and I hope to see you in the comments down below in the next video as well. So take care and bye-bye.